Good morning, people. How are we doing today? Let's just wait for some more people to join before I start talking about charts. Let me just quickly go to the toilet. Good morning, people. How were the shorts yesterday? You can see the drawings I still have on. We said if the gold continues pushing down, expect a retracement and get in on the continuation. And as you can see, that's exactly what we had. How is it daylight for you, Derek? Where are you? I'm in Bali. So for me, it's 1 p.m. right now. My trading view shows green bubbles and yours shows red. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what's going on. I think, yeah, it shows green on the FXCM chart, which it should be green, to be honest, because my bias for today is to buy. So I don't know, it just seems like the O1 chart is showing something else. But on the FXCM chart, we can see it's saying buy. So I guess if sometimes you guys are not sure, you can just swap between the Owanda and FXCM chart and see which one you agree more with. Because for today, my bias is to buy. So I would go with the green bubbles. Do we enter now for buy? You can, or you can wait for a little retracement. But if I just go over what we had yesterday, what zone do you see opportunity for a buy? Right now, like this would be my zone. So obviously we are already in the zone. We had that first push up and a retracement now. So anywhere within this zone or any pullback now, I think should be good for us to buy. Could you explain why it's a buy today? Yes, just give me a second. So the main reason I would go for a buy today is because of that volume yesterday. As I was saying, when we were just shorting this entire move down, anytime the price came back down, there wasn't any major volume spikes and there wasn't any major pushes to the upside that would tell us that gold is going to reverse. Even when we had that major drop down the first time, there was no volume behind it. So there was no confirmation that buyers got in. So all that happened is we just pushed up, swept a key structure point and came down. And as we came down with this sweep, you can see how big that volume was. So that would be a confirmation that all the buyers entered yesterday at this accumulation and after this sweep. So that's why we had that massive push, because this is where all the buyers came in. And you can see how beautiful this accumulation was. So that's why this is the zone now. And obviously today we had this retracement. Of course, most of the volume did come in around this high, so that pushed the gold down. And right now we have no volume, so we don't have that momentum to start pushing. So I think once the 630 opens, maybe we can get some retracements and then just try to get into a buy and potentially get it right there up to the top of this range. Then we can decide if there's going to be enough momentum, enough volume to continue pushing. But for now, this would be the plan. Of course, I'm still not fully convinced that we're just going to continue buying all the way to the top. But I think we should buy enough just to push like a few hundred pips up. And then maybe we can start looking for a sell once we get to the top of this range. So even if you get into the buys, like your stop loss should be like around this wick. And for now, just target the opposite side of the range, which would be this. Is the volume not too low for a buy? It is now. So that's why I'm thinking that 630 maybe just opens, sweeps like this low, and then we can see some volume that would push the price higher. Love following your trade signals on both Kick and Telegram, but do you also teach your strategy? If you're in my VIP, you can just go to the WAP, and that's where you can find all the educational videos, guides, and other things that I have. So you're not expecting a sweep of yesterday's low. Right now, I would say no. But overall, I would say that we are still bearish, because nothing really changed apart from the fact that we had that volume yesterday. But I think that volume was strong enough to just push the price a bit higher now. And then maybe once we get to the top of this range, we could start looking to try and sell, or decide if the price still have enough momentum to push above the highs. How do you get that chart at the bottom of your page? What do you mean? But yeah, if the momentum starts coming through, like a sweep of this low could be good to try get into a buy. Oh, you mean the volume? Like this is just the regular volume indicator. Technically we could try to get in now, but just keep in mind that when the 630 opens, we still could get like a sweep of this structure point. Did you enter, or are you waiting for the sweep? I already entered before. Like for some reason, when I woke up this morning, I entered at this area and I wanted to just get a quick scalp into like the top of the range, then try to get into a short. But for some reason, my MetaTrader just wouldn't let me log in for like 30 minutes, so I wasn't able to close the buys I had here. So I just ended up buying more at this low. Because I got into a trade here, and when it was at the top, my MetaTrader just stopped working and I wasn't able to log in. So by the time it started working again, gold was already hit. So I just ended up buying more at this level. Maybe market wait for news tonight. Well, the news tonight are not that important. Maybe later on, once the New York session opens and they start talking on those Jacksonville events. But for now, I would say it's not going to affect it as much. And I would just say, like, this is me just trying to keep the stop loss a bit tight, but ideally, like, the stop loss should go below this low. But for now, I just don't wanna have a stop loss that big. I think like this low of that wick should be good enough for now. And if I just extend this, you can see how perfect that top was. Like this is the short we were waiting for yesterday, which we didn't get a retracement into, but we did get that retracement later on. So you can just see how accurate these levels are. Like you just find bits of accumulation, and then you wait for a retest of that area. $60 left on my phase 1 funded account. That's good for you. Perfect. And again, you also have this little structure area. So that's why the price rejected from that level and pushed down. You know, overall, I would still say that gold should continue down to this level. So the only reason I'm buying now is because I think that yesterday's volume, which came in at this low, could potentially like push the price, you know, just a little bit up, maybe retest those yesterday's highs or something, and then from there maybe we can see another leg down. Which volume indicator do you use? There is only one volume indicator. So for now, like, this is something I would expect. Will today news show us the big direction of the market? I don't think so, but we just have to wait and see what they start talking about. Like, we already know the direction. For now, the direction is down, unless this is gonna be the volume that showed us that the reversal is gonna be in progress and we're gonna continue moving higher. But for this to happen, we now have to respect this area and we should see a big, strong push to the upside. You know, if we start pushing and we get stopped at this range, then we can just see that the buyers are not strong enough to continue pushing the price and we're gonna continue moving down. Why don't you just wait and short upstairs? Because there's a chance that we could not get a retracement. And like usually when you have a big volume like this and price comes back to retest that previous range where you had that so much volume inside, that you can expect a reversal from that area. That reversal may not be like a full-on push into new highs, but it could be just a push into like the top of the range where you can see some more accumulation and then another reversal. Are you in Bali now? Yes, I am. But overall for me, like, this is a very risky trade because my bias is still bearish. So I am going counter trend for now. But if we do manage to start pushing with strong momentum from here, then you can say that yesterday's volume was good enough to reverse the price and continue with the bullish momentum. You know, if we just look at the daily on gold, like yesterday was like a very annoying candle. If we at least closed like below the previous day's low, then that would have been a good confirmation that we just could continue selling down. But because we had that strong push to end the day, like this is kind of a 50-50 right now. So this candle can still flip and continue pushing bullish. Or it can just, you know, flip for a while, make a bigger candle, and then reverse into a bearish candle. So right now this is like a 50-50. You know, on the higher time frames, you just had a retest of the low of that wick, strong push. For now, it's too early to say if this would be a shift, but we do have this retracement into this initiation. And we just have like a big accumulation at this area. So it should at least give us a push into the top of the range. Are we buying now? Yes. When will be our buy entry? I already said we can buy now. I mean, like 5-10 minutes ago. You know, this little range was good enough to get into a trade, but just do keep in mind that once the 630 opens, we may get like a big wick down and take out those lows. What broker are you using? Vantage. You don't trade FVG? No, I don't. FVG is just a useless candlestick pattern. Don't mention FVG in front of him. Exactly. I'm gonna have to find your location and come with my guns. Are you in? I am in. Why don't you wait for the liquidity sweep? Because it's not necessary. It would be good if we get it, but it's not necessary. And you know, whether you enter here or you enter here, like the difference is not that much. So you have a choice. Either you enter early and be in a trade, or you try to get after a liquidity sweep, and what if it doesn't happen? Then you just miss a trade. You mean useless only for gold or in general? In general. Like the reason I say FVG is a stupid concept is the way ICT teaches FVGs, it's like teaching imbalances. But FVG is not an imbalance. It's just a candlestick pattern. So, you know, fair value gaps fall literally into the same category as this. And this is not something that's going to help you in your trading. This is just nothing. This is just a bunch of bullshit people made up. The imbalances that I trade, they are based on market structure. So you actually have some logic behind them. ICT and SMC is OBS, I agree. Just watch the price, read the candles. Think of the candles like each candle is a letter, which on their own, they don't necessarily mean anything. But once you start putting the letters together, so you start putting the candles together, they start forming words and sentences, which then you can turn into a story, and then you just follow the story that the price is telling you. I trade FBG with Fibonacci, and how's it going for you? See, like based on just fair value gaps, like this would be a fair value gap. So most people would probably just enter a trade here or maybe here because we rejected. You would have your stop loss above that gap, and then you get stopped out because this means nothing. But what I told you yesterday, we had this range because it was a clear area of accumulation, and that's why that area got rejected. Yeah, I saw someone making no wick candle strategy. Yeah, I've seen those too. People just keep coming up with new things so they can sell you a different course. And all these people, they literally come up with a different strategy every few months so they can sell a different course. Like for me, I don't know how long you've been following me for, but it's always the same. Just same thing on repeat every day. Today bias is sell, now just waiting the retracement to keep sell. We have to wait. Like right now for me the bias is 50-50, but right now I'm seeing buys up to this range. Then I'm gonna decide just based on how the price is gonna react and what it's gonna show us, if we could potentially turn into a sell or if we should hold in the buys. But for me, this volume yesterday, like there was a massive accumulation of buyers. You know, if we look at any other day, you know, this first spike down just had some baby volume, just pushed for the price to retrace the top of the range. Then we had this wick, which obviously had some more buyers, but it only pushed up the price to sweep that liquidity, came down again, didn't have any major volumes later on. We had this spike, which again, tiny volume, which only pushed the price to sweep liquidity, continued down. But until that point yesterday, like if you just compare all the previous volume, like this is significantly bigger than any other volume we had before. That's why for now I'm trying the buys. And as you can see, like straight into profit. Like how many other traders can you watch live and get into a trade that always goes straight into profit? Hypothetically, if you were to gamble on gold price before Jackson Hole news, would you buy or sell? I wouldn't do anything based on the news itself. Because it's not like CPI or NFP. It's not like there's gonna be a time where you get the news. Like it's just random. You know, you don't know what time they're gonna say something that could affect the price. In my opinion, it just shouldn't affect the price as much. You know, it's not like FOMC or interest rate decisions where you just watch them talk and that moves the price. You know, they can just talk a bunch of bullshit that doesn't even matter. maybe he's the market maker. Well, I teach the market makers. That's the secret. And for now, we got a sweep of the previous highs and 2 minutes to the 630. So maybe that 630 can now just push it down, sweep those structure points, and then continue moving higher. Reckon it could go to 46.33. For now, it's too high to say. For now, like this would be the area I would target for the buys. And from there, we just have to see how the price behaves to decide. But overall, I am in buys now, but I'm not convinced that the buys are gonna just continue pushing through the highs. I would just think the buys may be strong enough to push into the top of the range, and then we can decide if we should hold it or if we should turn the buys into a sell. Everyday people asking you the same question. You're 20k up already and doing this for free. Yeah, that's why I keep doing this. And honestly, me doing these lives with you guys, it just helps me become better. Because, you know, like I am a bit autistic, so it's often very hard for me to convert my thoughts into actual words. So, you know, this right now, like it's not easy for me to just keep talking and keep, you know, telling you about the thoughts that I have. So in the long run, I know this is something that's gonna help me become better myself. And we got the 630 pushing down. So let's see if we get a sweep and if that's gonna be enough to reverse the price. You know, the FXCM chart is saying buy. I don't know what's going on with TradingView, but it's just so random recently. At what levels would you close the buys? Like I would start thinking to close around this area. Ideally, like if we break below that wick, then that's a very strong invalidation point. After you start live VIP, is there any chance you stream for free for sometimes? Yes, I'm still gonna stream for free, but I'm gonna do like half streams in the VIP and half streams for the public. Have you seen Mr. No Risk No Lambo? I don't think I have. How to get to VIP? Just click the link, click the bit.ly link. It's gonna take you to my Telegram, and you just have to follow the steps given by the bot, and it's free to join. Any alternative of TradingView? I'm not really sure. Like there's a lot of new platforms coming out, but like TradingView is just so simple to use. You still think it's long? Yes. Like I said, the 630 is just gonna push down, give us a wick, and we should get that momentum to push through. We didn't get a sweep of the low, but it's still fine. Doesn't matter. Maybe we can get it soon. What's your win percentage? I have no idea. I don't track my stats. And because I don't trade on a single account, I usually just fund whenever I trade, just fund it with like a few grand, then try to flip it. Then, it doesn't give me enough like proper data to track the statistics. It looks like silver is also rejected with that 630 wick. So you just have to give it some time and see. You trade and think just like me, that means you're on the right track to make a lot of money. What are the requirements for the VIP? You just need to have a Vantage account, and if you have an account, you can just join for free. So far, I'm not seeing enough momentum, so maybe we're gonna go and sweep this low as well. How much will be the VIP subscription? There is no subscriptions. If you have a Vantage account, then it's free. Does the push down during Asia session today with no volume mean anything? It means that price didn't have enough volume to continue pushing higher, so it retraced to the nearest previous liquidity pool, which was this area of accumulation. And right now, if we can get some volume coming in at this area, that's gonna be a good buy and should push the price up to like the top of this range. But so far we have no momentum, so the buy is not looking that good. Maybe if we're gonna start pushing, we're gonna push like below that previous structure point, and that maybe bring some momentum in. Isn't it getting bearish pressure right now? It is, but it doesn't matter. What will I suggest? Follow VIP signals and grow my capital slowly. Also put in small amount every month from paycheck into Vantage. That's a good plan. And obviously follow the live streams too, because you don't want to rely on the signals alone. You want to be an independent trader. How tight are the stops? Like the stop loss should just go below this previous structure point. But I just marked it here because I know this would be too big of a stop loss for most people. So, you know, you can just wait right now and see how the price behaves. Can you teach me how to know if the bias is switching to bullish or bearish? Just watch the volume. You know, for now, the volume that we have just came in after this little sweep of that previous structure point. So we are going against the trend. But I'm thinking that this yesterday's volume that we had would still be good enough to maybe push the price into the top of the range. But this is a counter trend trade because the bullish momentum is not confirmed yet. It would only be confirmed if we start pushing above the highs. For non-advantage users, Xmas just markets would work. If you just DM on Telegram, then my team is gonna guide you through on what to do. Hold my buy position, or is it okay to close and reopen when we have bullish pressure? You could, that's up to you. Learning from live sessions while growing capital slowly with the help of VIP is a good idea. Yes, it is. That's what many people do. You know, I never recommend just joining the VIP just to follow the signals. Because like at the end of the day, if you don't know how to trade, you have no idea if a trade is good, if it's not, if you should TP at TP1 or maybe hold the trade. What should we do to get to VIP after opening Vantage account? Just DM me on Telegram and we'll sort you out. Still holding or not, like until we take out that previous wick, you know, at this level, then for now, nothing has changed. If we do take out that level, then it means that this entire bias is completely wrong. You don't get worried being in drawdown too much. Why would I? Like, you can't expect to trade and get 0 drawdown trades every single time. And like I said, this was a counter trend trade. So we are going against that trend. Because until we start pushing above those highs, we are still bearish. Volume coming, is it accumulating? Right now it's not accumulating, it's just pushing. It's accumulating when it's in a range like this one, for example. Is it not heading towards liquidity levels before push up? What do you think is a liquidity level? If you think it's a low, then no. Because if you break that low, then it just invalidates any bullish momentum, and it just means that we're going to continue with the trend. So obviously, of course, any break of the low could bring a small reaction to push the price. You trade London, then go gym and surfing and Bali, then continue New York. I mean, I usually trade before the London even opens. So I've already been in the gym today because I wanted to go before the stream. And as for surfing, I can't swim, so I can't surf. In your trading style, do you even pay attention to liquidity? No. Like, liquidity is just a fancy term everybody on social media uses. Because liquidity just means money. And from a technical standpoint, every low and every high is gonna have money. And that's not because there's stop losses below those levels. It's not because there is some magic liquidity pools. It's just because that's how the market works. You know, if we break a structure point, it forces liquidity into the market, which could drive a small reaction. Not necessarily a reversal, but a reaction. Arrived late. Are you still bearish or open buy? I am in a buy right now, but overall, this is a counter trend trade. So my bias is still bearish until we could break those highs. The only reason I decided to buy today was because of that volume we had yesterday. But even for the buys, I wouldn't be holding them all the way to the top. You know, just a push into like the top of the range. I appreciate you for opening my eyes. You're welcome. I hope it helps. You looks down. Are you happy? I'm just tired. I just came back from the gym. You know, trading turns you into a zombie, so you just don't express your emotions that much. I'm trying to simplify my trading by doing less. That's exactly what you should do. The simpler your trading is, the easier it is to follow. Do we hold the buys? For now, I am holding. It's going down. Well, it's still within the range, so just because it's going down, it doesn't mean anything. We just need volume to get that push. Or drop, it doesn't matter, we still need the volume. Just curious, do you get high before you trade? Sometimes. When I was in Thailand, then yeah, sometimes, why not? What's your dream and goal in life? Trade and stay in Bali, or accumulate enough money to retire money, then go back to UK? Not really. Like, to be honest, I don't have like any long-term goals for now. I just want to get good at what I'm doing, and then we just see what happens. You know, till last month, my plan was to go back to UK, but then the plans changed, and now I'm in Bali for long term. But I guess like my big long-term goal is to just have enough money to buy like a massive piece of land, just have a lot of animals, big house, like a lake, forest on my land, so I can just do whatever I want without having to ask anyone for permission. You know, if I wanted to get a truck and blow it up, I could do it. Does it help psychologically, getting high before a trade? Not really. I guess it depends from person to person. Like for some people, it could bring your anxiety out, it could make you paranoid. So I wouldn't say it's gonna help with your psychology, but it just depends how strong you are mentally. Are you ready in profit? I won 4 and lost 1 trade this week, all from your Instagram videos. That's good, bro. Keep going. Planning for a peaceful ending? Yes. You know, I love animals, so if I could just like open my own private zoo and just live inside that zoo, that's what I would do. Can you tell the entry? We got an entry at this bit of accumulation a bit early before the 6:30 opened. So right now we are just waiting for the price to accumulate and give us that volume. Wish your dream come true. Thank you. I wish the same to all of you. Did you have a girlfriend at your lowest while learning how to trade, so she grew at your side, or she came later? It's kind of like 50-50. When I was at my lowest, I was single, but then I had a girlfriend, and I was again at my lowest. So she did help a little bit, but then once I reached my peak, I was single, and now I have a girlfriend again. So the girlfriend I had now came in later. Which animal would you buy first for your zoo? Maybe like a tiger or a cheetah. You know, like I like cats, so I would just definitely get a lot of big cats. Yeah, good to hear that, dream. No Lambo type bullshit. Yeah, like I'm not into that materialistic stuff. Your girlfriend Indonesian? Yes. So far, we had the accumulation, we had the volume. So if you could just start breaking above the current high, then that would be good. So my guy gets high, switch girlfriends every 3 years, wants to create a zoo and make money of trading. Basically, yeah. Just not switching girlfriends. You know, that's not something you do intentionally. That's just life. What's your main trading edge? Order blocks or liquidity sweep? Volume. You need to open a vlog channel about when your dream come true to vlog the animals. Yeah, that's something I'd probably do. And can you explain why you entered long? Because of that volume we had yesterday. You know, throughout this entire week that we had, this was the biggest buying volume that we had. And as you can see, that buy came in with a massive push. So naturally, even if it doesn't happen today, like 9 out of 10 times, whenever that happens and price retraces to that massive accumulation that you had the day before, you're gonna get a retracement. Obviously, when we entered, there was no volume because we entered early, but you know, it's fine. Like right now we have the 630 volume accumulating, so maybe that should be good enough to push, but still not ready yet. You know, if we can just break above that current high, that would be good. If we don't, then there's no signs of buyers coming in just yet. Let's do gold trading with animals. Yeah, let me teach the lions how to trade gold. Do you mostly swing or scalp in gold? In your years of experience, has the swing trend changed in gold? Yes. Like right now, I mostly just day trade. So I just try to hold my trades for a few hours and then get out. You know, I don't like scalping as much, but sometimes it's okay. You know, if you scalp, your scalps can turn into day trades, then they can turn into swings. But if you only swing trade, then you can't really scalp. Do you believe Fridays and Mondays are not ideal trading days? Not really. Any day is a good trading day. It just depends on how you read the price. Do you have a pet in Bali? Not right now. Do you think it's gonna go up? Right now, we don't have any confirmation that it's gonna go up. So right now, it's just accumulating, and we can see that the last 1 minute candle is pushing down now. So like I said earlier on, like this is a counter trend trade. Because overall we are still bearish and nothing changed as much. But that fact that we had that volume yesterday, just a retracement to that volume should be good enough just to push the price a bit higher. And if we start breaking like above this range, then we could consider the fact that the trend is going back to bullish again. But if that's not going to happen, then nothing changed and we are still bearish. Take profit 45.97. Yeah, this would be the first area I would look to take profit. What was your aha moment when it came to trading, and how long did it take for you to become profitable consistently? It took about 4 to 5 years. And I guess the aha moment was when I discovered that volume correlates with price. And these bars at the bottom are not actually random, like most people would have you believe. Because when you look at most people's strategies, they never mention the volume. And most people have the volume turned off. So even when it comes to something like ICT style trading, ICT never has the volume on the chart. If you have no volume on the chart, how can you talk about liquidity? It just doesn't make sense. So what's your advice on swing entries? My advice would be to not try to swing trade, but rather just try to get into day trades where you can hold them for hours. And then if the price is on your side, if the momentum is there, then you can turn your day trade into a swing trade. Which time frame do you usually monitor for volume? 5 minute or 1 minute? Like the 5 minute and the 1 minute shows you the details. If you start zooming out too much, then the volume bars just become very clustered together and you don't really see the details that you should be looking for. Tell me the volume settings. There is no settings. It's either on or it's off. Appreciate the knowledge. Love from Australia. Love to you too. Do you think anyone can make it as a trader with a lot of time and effort? Yes. Like, if you just simplify trading to the basic structure and volume concept, it becomes very simple. And I think anyone can just follow that. And obviously, the entry I got wasn't good, but as you can see, price accumulated with big volume. So if we can just start breaking above that high, then we should be good. Is it necessary to open an account with Vantage in order to join your VIP? It's not necessary, but it is best because it's free. And you know, if you trade, then you obviously need a broker to trade with. And Vantage is like one of the top 10 brokers in the world. Please share a link for structure and volume logic if you can. Just go on YouTube and you're gonna have like a simple course on my YouTube channel. What do you think about the next week bias? Are we still bearish for the week? If today we can break above those highs, that the next week could be bullish. But if we continue breaking below this low, then I think next week is also gonna continue bearish. Should we add small lots here below? If you want to. I don't know what your account is, so I can't tell you if you should add more trades. But until this low gets broken, this trade is not invalidated. What's your view on gold midterm, like from here to end of the year? Well, I would love to see gold just continue moving down, obviously up to 3400 levels, but that may not happen this year. It could happen maybe sometimes next year. But I think this year we should still just see gold maybe around the 4,000 level. You know, right now I don't see how gold is gonna make new all-time highs. So I think gold is just gonna be stuck in a range, and eventually it should retrace to the 4,000 levels. Why is your RR less today? It's because I got a bad entry, and obviously this area from this point to the lowest structure point is very far. So for me, like the RR doesn't matter as much because I usually trade with fixed lots, or just depends on which account I'm trading for the day. Then, you know, that risk to reward doesn't matter as much. You know, but if you're trading just 1% per trade, then you know, that's different. But I trade with fixed loss most of the time. $500 account could go to 1 million in 6 trades, 300 pips gain, 6 straight wins. I haven't tried this, but we can try something like this on stream. You know, like I said before, I do want to do like some challenges and other things with you guys. So maybe this is something we could do. Maybe not in 6 trades, because, you know, even catching 300 pips, like if I wanted to catch 300 pips on every stream, like sometimes I would probably just have to stay for like 10 hours on the stream if we don't have any momentum for the day. So maybe I would just break it down to like smaller 100 pip trades. Did you have a mentor or did you learn on your own? I learned on my own. I tried to learn from other people, but nobody could teach me what I wanted to learn. So I just taught myself how to trade the way I wanted to trade. You know, I like to be able to just open a chart at any time and be able to explain what's happening and where the price is gonna go. So, you know, even though I said I entered the trade at this range early, I did say it's very likely that we're gonna go for a sweep, and that happened. So that doesn't mean that this trade is bad or anything. It's just the fact that I entered early. But we did accumulate and we're moving into profit now, so nothing changed. Did you have to learn to code to make your EA? I mean, not exactly. Like, it's always good to know some coding, but with the AI nowadays, you can just get AI to do anything you want, and it's much easier and it's much quicker. Obviously, it's not as simple because you need like a lot of technical knowledge, because otherwise the AI is just gonna spit out a lot of bullshit which just doesn't work. Can we swing this to 57.20? I think you mean 46.20. But for now, it's too early to say. Like for now, I would just go for the top of this range. That's interesting about gold prices. Do you believe in bank predictions? Have they played out in the past? To be honest, I never even pay attention to that. Like at this point in my trading journey, I don't let anyone affect my decisions, because whenever I do, I end up losing. So I just learned to trust myself and not listen to what anyone else is saying. You know, even like a few months ago, I don't remember what it was now, but I was holding some gold trades, and then Trump started saying something about the war. So normally I would just ignore whatever he says and trust my instincts. But at that time, I believed the news that he released, and I ended up losing a lot of money because I listened to Trump. But I should have listened to myself. I knew that he was just spitting out some fake news and it wouldn't matter. So I just learned to not listen to anyone. Like, even if you're watching me on stream, like, you still should take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Because, you know, I don't want you to be a sheep that just follows someone else. Like, make your own decisions. Can you make competition and live stream? I can do something. You know, I'm still getting used to the live stream, just wanna figure out how it works, you know, get better setups maybe, and then I'm definitely gonna do something. How much monthly average profit percentage you're done? It's hard to say because even like the profits on MetaTrader, it doesn't really matter as much, but the profits I usually take out from the brokers, it's just like low five figures every month. So, because at the same time, I'm not trying to take out too much because then the taxman is gonna get me. The volume levels on the support levels has joined the dots for me. Makes so much sense. Yeah, that's exactly the thing. Literally 90% of strategies out there miss. It's just the volume. Like even if you don't want to trade the way I teach you, if you just add volume to your strategy, like you're gonna make trades that are 100 times better and more accurate. Do you think personality traits correlates with different type of trading styles? Of course. Like I think trading is very individual, so whatever works for me may not work for someone else. You know, some people like to be very risky and they like to take trades that only last 5 minutes, and some people prefer to hold their trades for weeks or months at a time. So if you want your strategy and your edge to be playing out consistently, then you should find a strategy that matches your personality type. Do you think ICT was created to trap retail traders like us? Not really. I think ICT just started as this delusional man who created the algorithms and just people fell for it. And in the end, it just ended up making him a very rich man. So he just continues the narrative that he's the creator of the markets. When USD weakens, gold gets stronger. Yes. Like the reason, I believe the reason gold is at the price that is right now is because the dollar is just getting so weak, it's becoming useless. And eventually, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I think it's gonna happen within the next few years. The dollar is just gonna lose its place as the global reserve currency. And we can already see this happening because nobody wants to deal with the US anymore, especially with Trump being in the office now. Is Bali a place worth visiting still? Heard only certain areas like Lombok still hasn't been. I mean, it's still a good place, but it is flooded with foreigners. Like I live in the Canggu area, so as soon as you step outside, it's literally just foreigners everywhere. You don't even see that many locals. And you know, it's actually sad to see because these foreigners, they don't give a fuck about anyone or anything. ICT was on the same tracks the Simpson creator was on. Well, at least the Simpson creators, like, he makes good stuff. And it seems like he can see the future. But ICT is just a delusional man. Can I join VIP from Tanzania? Yes, you can. Just DM on Telegram and we'll get you sorted. You know, just go to this bit.ly link, join the public Telegram, and in there you're gonna have a pinned message which you just click and you join. For someone stepping into trading, what's the one advice you can give them? just stick to 1 to 2 trades a day. No matter if you see good opportunities, stick to 1 to 2 trades. Because if you start taking too many trades, and if you end up winning too many times, then you get too confident, too cocky, you start over trading and you think like you're the best trader in the world, and then that's where mistakes start to happen. Do you see gold closing bearish this year? Let me open the, I don't even know if there is, yeah, 1 year candle. I don't think it's gonna close bearish, but it could close like a massive doji. Then imagine if we see a drop all the way down to 1400. But I don't think it's gonna close bearish. I think we could just close around the same levels we are now, or maybe just closer to 4,000. What your thoughts on XRP? Just a useless coin like any other. I know it might feel like a long time when you started. What advice would you give your old self? I would just tell myself to stop following everyone else and trust myself. And don't try to make it in one day, just play the long game. Because my biggest problem was that I would always just try to flip my accounts into as much as possible. And even though I was good at flipping accounts, I would always reach a point where I would just go down to zero. So like for the first 4 or 5 years, when I was still working a 9 to 5 and I was unprofitable, I probably lost like, I don't know, 60, 70,000 pounds. Like if you add up all the profits that I made at the time, that probably would have been like £500,000. But I wasn't cashing out, so I just never made any money. What do you think, sweep of 45.84? Oh, you mean a sweep of the high and then a sell? I mean, right now it wouldn't make that much sense. It would, because we had this sweep right here. Like right now, it would make more sense to go and at least sweep this high. I entered this trade at 73. Should I set my TP lower than yours? No, like I don't set fixed TPs. I just let the price tell me where it wants to go. So I would just start looking to close at least the partial once we get to the top of the range. Like the TP is not fixed. Like it could be anywhere within the range. Because, you know, what if you just, let's say, have a fixed TP at this level and gold only comes down to this level and reverses? Like there's no point missing out on all that money. You know, just because you have a fixed level that you want price to go to, it doesn't mean that it has to go there. You don't think it will disturb the financial system? Not really. XRP has been around almost as long as Bitcoin has, and it hasn't done anything to the financial system. Like, I'm not saying that it's like from like a financial standpoint, XRP is better than Bitcoin. But if you're thinking that XRP is gonna go to like hundreds or thousands of dollars, then no, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be more like a stable coin. Do you think current volume is enough to get our trades to TP? It should be good enough. We had a good accumulation at the bottom. So for now, like, we should at least go and sweep this range. Once we sweep this range, then we could see some retracements, and then we can decide if we have enough momentum, but I think we should go for the top of this range. Can I enter the trade now? It's a bit too late now. You had a good opportunity down here. If you enter now, then it doesn't make that much sense because your risk to reward becomes negative. What's your cash out strategy now? Just wait and see if we can push up. You know, this area could get us some retracements, but for now we still want to see a break of that high, because right now we are just respecting the top of this range. But once we start breaking above this high, we can start thinking of taking some partials. But you know, we still want to see a break of that high and then a break of that high. Because for now, this is just a retest. And we can see that silver just pushed above that high to retest that previous range. Should we add if price goes above 45.86 with good volume? If the price pushes up, gives us a retracement, then you could think about adding on the retracement. But adding on a breakout, it's not a good strategy. Did you open a trade or you waited for confirmation? I did get into the trade like before the 630 opened at this range. So my entry wasn't as good, but I did say we could see a sweep of those structures when the 630 opens. I meant cash out in as how much a trader should withdraw. That's an individual thing. That's up to you. I don't know what country you're from. I don't know what your taxes are like. Like, I would just say withdraw whatever you need. If you don't need it, don't withdraw it, or at least move it to a separate trading account so you don't lose that money, and just keep stacking your money that way. Do you only trade London? No, usually I trade the Asian. I don't like trading the London because it just doesn't do anything for gold. It's just slow most of the time. Why Asian? Because I live in Asia and I like to be out of the trades like before the early afternoon. When I was living in London, I would mostly trade the London session and then I was already out of a trade way before the New York session. So that's just it, because I prefer to trade in the morning. And because I'm in Asia, then right now it's 2:30 p.m. So I don't want to be in a trade when it's getting dark, because at that point I just prefer to relax or do some other things. Will you do streams during Asia session in the future? Like the 6:30 a.m. injections, they are like between the Asia session ending and the London session opening. So this is kind of the Asian session. And usually I don't trade the New York session. Like sometimes I do, but for me, the New York session opens at 8 p.m. So if I get into that trade around the New York session, and let's say I don't get the opportunity to close the trade like within the next 2 hours, then I can't go sleep and I have to watch the trade. So that's why I just prefer trading the Asian session. Will you stream next week? Yes. But next week, most of the streams will be just for the VIP only. I may do like 1 or 2 public streams. But right now it's looking good. Like a breakout of this high is very close. Post on IG how to get into the VIP in detail. Just go into this bit.ly link, join the public Telegram, and then there you have a button. Click that button and everything is shown step by step. Yeah, just click the bit.ly link. I mean, obviously you can't click the link, but just type that link into your browser. And when you go to the Telegram, just click this blue button that you see at the top. And from there, it's gonna be a bot and it's gonna guide you step by step on what to do. If you have a Vantage account, then you can join for free. Don't have to pay anything. 1 more week public live streams. I mean, you're still gonna get the public live streams, just not as often. Maybe sometimes when I have a bit more free time, I'm gonna do again like a full week of public sessions. I was in deep drawdown. If this trade pushes higher, I'm passing and getting a payout on my funded account. That's good. So let's hope it passes. I mean, let's hope it pushes all the way to the top. So you can get a fat payout. Do you do these sessions daily in the premium group? Like right now, yes, I will. Obviously, sometimes I may be busy or may have something to do. So there may be days where I skip. But for the most part, yes. Are you married? Not yet. This is more valuable to me than signals. It should be. Nobody got rich taking signals. Like there is no trader in the world that is gonna tell you that they got rich taking signals, no matter how good the signals are. where do lives in VIP take place? It's gonna be on Zoom. I'm from Lebanon and usually trade with you. I need 150 more to pass my funded account. See, everybody on stream is passing accounts. How was your routine like when you were working a 9 to 5? Well, I would usually wake up around 6 a.m. UK time. I would see if I can get into any trades. If I could, I would. And then I would just track how the trade is doing on my way to work. And then usually my job was flexible enough, so I would just have my phone open at all times and I would just look at the charts while I was working. And no signal will give you the raw uncut knowledge. Yeah, exactly. Like when you take a signal, you just see numbers, but you don't know what any of the numbers mean. What funded companies are best? Honestly, at this point, I have no idea. All of them are scams, and all of them will sooner or later do something to not get you your payout. What was your work? I used to do construction. So you know, no matter what I did, I would just like have my phone open, like on the side where it was clean, and whatever I was working, I would just do what needed to be done. And you know, I was like the top person at my construction company, so my boss would just allow me to be able to, you know, be on my phone a lot. So that kind of helped with trading. And we can see we are getting that breakout now. So if we can just get a clean breakup of this high, then we are good. This accumulation was very good. You know, maybe that's a lesson for the future, that if price is just ranging with little volume, we should just wait for the 630 to open and give us that volume. But sometimes I am impatient myself, so I just got in before that. %100 wins. Yeah, if this trade hits, then we still have 100% win rate on stream. Let's just hope it wins, because right now, like, this is still not enough. How much time chart need accumulation to push price? Like yesterday was accumulation on 1 minute, then it pushed down. I mean, there's no specific time. It can be different depending on the day, the time of the day. You know, usually you just, whenever you see like a small range with a lot of volume, then you know the price is accumulating. And if you see this accumulation at the bottom of the chart, that usually means it's gonna push up. If you see that sort of accumulation at the top of a chart, that means it's gonna push down. For example, you had this bit of accumulation at the top, price pushed down, then we just had like a small breakout, accumulation, price pushed down. So like there isn't any specific time or how much time is needed. It's just more about like you can obviously tell when the price is getting ready to break out. Like obviously we had a push, the price was just ranging from top to bottom, but obviously on this final push you can see it broke above that previous high and just had a retracement and another push. So if you wanted to, you could potentially like get in somewhere on this breakout with a stop loss below that previous low, because you can already see the price is ready and it accumulated enough for that push. Where will you look to take profit? For now, I'm just gonna wait to see if we can break above this high, and if we get a clean break, then we should be good to take profit around the top of this range. If we just get a sweep, then we may, start looking to get out early. I was in a lot of trading live sessions. Explain for this market is very nice, and I understand your view. That's good. We keep it simple here. Can't figure out the accumulation until accumulation already happens and the price pushes up or down. Well, like I showed you in this example, like you can see we have a lot of volume and price is just trending slowly within like this range. So as you can identify that the range is forming, you can just start to get into a trade once the price is breaking out of that range. Sometimes if you get lucky, even if you miss the first expansion out of the range, you could just get in on the retracement. But I guess if you just watch the charts and watch the accumulation, then eventually you're gonna figure out when it's about to break out of the range. AMD, yeah, this is kind of like AMD right now. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And like I always say, the manipulation phase should come with volume and accumulation. So that's gonna give like the best confluence that this AMD is working. And how looking on candle that is ready to push up. Well, if you look at this example, let me just remove this. You can see that after this push up, you had a retracement. And that retracement took out that previous high and you had another retracement. And this retracement didn't go any lower. So you can see it's kind of just like bouncing in a trend up. So if this retracement would just went down, then that price is still stuck in a range. But because it didn't and it started moving towards the top of this range, then it's getting ready for the breakout. Do you ever hold trades over the weekend? Sometimes, but for me at this, like with the current market conditions that we have, like I would have to be deep in profits for me to hold the trade over the weekend. When do you move stop loss to break even? I don't. Can I still enter this trade or miss it already? Like this entry is a bit too high for you to enter. Obviously, I can't tell you what to do. If you can afford to risk it, then do as you please. But you know, if you're gonna enter this trade, then ideally your stop loss should be still below that low. You could get away with a stop loss below this low now because it gave you that rejection, but it may still not be the type of risk to reward that you're looking for. You know, even if you enter with a stop loss here, it barely gives you a one-to-one trade. So this is just up to you. Do you think would be right to tighten stop loss about 5-7 points below the entry? Yeah, that's good enough. What do you think of Bali? I live in UK and think of relocating. Like, if you think of moving away from the UK, Bali is perfect. And you know, if you still like the Western culture, like Bali has a lot of it. There's a lot of foreigners who try to be influencers here. Like, there's a lot of good Western restaurants and places you can just go. So it's gonna feel like you're at home, but on a tropical island. What is your main conviction for if a chart is at the top or bottom? Like, I guess if you just open a chart, you can see if it's at the bottom of the chart or if it's at the top. Obviously, you can just zoom in and out, and you know, you just see we have the bottom of the range, we have the top of the range. This was the final push that pushed the price down into a range. So this is also a top of a range, which would be significant if to tell us if the price is gonna break out or if it's gonna reject and move down. So that's why we wanna wait and we wanna see how the price is gonna behave around this area. But we still need a breakout above that high. And we can see that we are pretty much getting that breakout now. If we just get a strong follow through, then maybe we could even be good enough to push above the highs here. Yeah, we have that breakout. So let's see if we get a strong follow through. What is that zone you marked up? Supply and demand indicator. Like, I don't use any indicators other than volume. Like, the zones and structures that I have, it's me just marking the levels myself. If it don't break, you will go short. No, I'm just gonna close the buys and then I'll be done for the day. It's Friday, so you know, don't overtrade. Just make your money and leave. What do you think about the time window? 9 Berlin time, 15 New York time. You should test it. Is there something big into this time window? I'm not really sure. I may check it out later. Is Bali living cost high? It depends how you decide to live your life. I guess you could get away with spending like $1,000 a month and still live like a king, but it can easily get very expensive. Like this villa that you see in my background, I pay for it more than an apartment in central London. So for me, like the cost of living in Bali can get to like 10K a month with the rent included. But you can easily just survive on like $1,000 or $2,000 a month. What a G, I'm joining the premium. You should. You're gonna win a lot more of them. Are you only using price structure and volume for trading? Yes, that's all I need. The chart that you see right now is all that I need to see where the price wants to go. What if it goes above the TP? Then we can just continue holding. Like I said, I don't have fixed TPs on my trades. Because, like I said, what if we set a TP at this level and then price just decides to completely break through and move for another 200, 300 pips? You're just gonna miss out on a very good trade. So if we just continue moving with this momentum, then we can easily break above that high. So just because I have this here, it doesn't mean you have to close it. But you should obviously take some partials at this level because it's gonna be safe. 10k USD. But for me it's pounds because my accounts are in pounds. Why you need a villa for 2 people living? I just like big open spaces. And like once you start reaching higher levels in life, like you want some luxury. Like I don't care about cars or any of the other stuff, so at least I can live good. And look at this. Look how much we're pushing now. Just past the 20k funded of this trade. 1500 profit. Thank you. You're welcome. And congrats to you passing. Can profitable trading get me bitches? Not really. Unless you decide to start wearing some Gucci, Louis Vuitton, rent some cars, get a Rolex on, then maybe you can get some gold diggers. But yeah, like I said, this is a very good area for a partial, and with this momentum, we may even be good to continue even higher. So if you took a partial, it's okay to just hold the rest of your trade. Yeah, see, everybody's making money on the stream. And just so you don't think I'm chatting shit, this is one account, 3.6k pounds. This is the 20k account, $8.4,000. So I just made like 10k on this trade. I mean, more than 10k at this point. Can I go break even now and swing it? Yeah, go for it. Like we are seeing a lot of momentum coming through. So for now, I would even get rid of this and just continue holding that trade. Like we broke the highs now, so we're good. See, we just can't lose. We just win every single time on stream. See, all we needed was that bit of accumulation from 630 volume, and look how much we pushed. What price is the top of the red box? It's 46.02. Another stream, another dub. You're so calm with the trades. Well, that's what trading does to you. Like all these people just, you see like TJR just jumping around like a monkey. They all just do it for the views. Like if you're an actual trader, you just don't care if you make money or if you don't. Will you add positions? No, just if you're still in a trade, if you didn't take your profit, just take your profit now and leave a bit of the trade and maybe let it run it like above those highs. But like right now, you don't want to be adding any trades. Yeah, just look at that push on silver as well. Just hit 70 and it's still pushing. And see, the main thing for this trade for me was that volume yesterday. All we needed is just to let the price accumulate and we got a push. After the break, is our bias changing from bearish to bullish? It's still too early to say because right now we just swept these highs and we could just retrace down, but it's looking like we are shifting bullish now. You know, maybe right now we could get like a push into the top of this range and then get a retracement and another continuation. If we do that, then that's good. And that means we are turning bullish and then we should just go for the highs next. Are you still going to stream public next week? Yes, maybe not every day, but I will do like maybe 1 or 2 public streams. So for now, I just closed all the trades that I had open. You know, there's nothing else for me to do and no point being greedy. But if you want to hold, then I think we can easily break the high next. You know, with this type of momentum, with this type of volume, like I think it's very safe to say that we have now turned bullish. Is the WAP Telegram 2 different VIPs for the same? It's the same thing. Like once you join the Telegram, you also get access to all the WAP stuff. And it's still pushing. Maybe I closed too early. Bro, I want to learn your strategy. Just join the Telegram and you're gonna learn. And tune into the lives whenever I'm streaming. And sooner or later, you're gonna be trading just like me. Can you explain the correlation of yesterday's volume to making a long trade today? So basically, if you look at the price action from this entire week, obviously you can just watch the recap of this stream that I'm gonna upload to YouTube next. But what I was saying is that every drop that we had, just compare the volume around those times. Every drop just gave you like a major minor pullback into the top of the range, or just to sweep some structure. But compared to the volume that we had yesterday, like these drops were very, very quick and they didn't have that much volume. And this volume here it originated at the top as well. So that this wasn't a buying volume. And if you look at yesterday's price action, then we had a very clear accumulation right at the bottom after this sweep. This first push up, it didn't have any volume behind it, so we just went up, swept the nearest structure point, and come down. And as we came down, we had a massive volume, massive accumulation right at the bottom. So this was a sign that this is a very strong buying volume. It pushed the price significantly higher, breaking multiple structure highs, and then we just retraced. So even if it didn't happen today, 9 out of 10 times, if you retrace to that area where yesterday you had a very, very big accumulation of volume, it's gonna give you a reaction. And obviously it doesn't mean that that reaction is gonna continue making new highs, but as we can see today, it's likely that it's gonna do that. So this is the reason why I had this zone drawn, and this is why I was looking for the buys. How about sell? Like, why would you try to sell when you can see green dildos like this being printed? Don't try to sell. If you get lucky and we get a retracement, then on the retracement and follow the buys. Close too early, but profit is profit. Yeah, I closed at 46.10 as well. But like, this is 300 pips. Like, that's good enough. Do you expect a pullback in the new hour? Like, we should pull back. Like right now, the first ideal pullback would be up to the highs now, because these highs have now been broken and created an imbalance. So price would have down of this area where you could potentially see some accumulation and then a continuation. So, you know, we could see something like this, maybe even a break below that zone, and then we should push above those highs. Hashtag one more week. I mean, I'm still gonna stream next week. It's just not gonna be every single day. So it's not like I'm disappearing. And if you wanna be in the streams every single day, then just join the VIP. It's definitely worth it. And we want every single trade on stream this week. So I think, you know, I've showed you what's possible, and, you know, I'm not one of these bullshit social media traders who don't know what they're talking about. Across all my 6 prop firm accounts, I'm floating in deep profits and stop at break even. That's good, bro. Milk as much money as you can. We in profits 3 days in a row. We've been in profits 5 days in a row. Maybe you haven't seen the streams we had on Monday and Tuesday. Thanks for today. Off to the gym. Enjoy the pump. Enjoy the money. What would be your target if you go long after retracement? Like, it's like, even this, it wouldn't be like a very good entry because we already extended so much. So I would probably just target like this high for a partial, and then maybe just the top of this range for closing the entire trade. How much is VIP? It's free to join. Just click this bit.ly link and you're gonna be transferred to my public Telegram, and there you can just join for free. I close my trades now. I'm done. Big wins. W. Thank you. You're welcome. So keep tuning in, and you're always gonna make money when you're on stream. What's your retracement level? The previous highs for now, because these highs now created an imbalance. So a retracement into those highs would be very good for another leg up. And silver is still pushing, so gold should do the same. Maybe it's not gonna retrace so much, But if it does, then this could be a good potential entry. You know, maybe something like this, and then just target the high. But just wait for the retracement and just, you know, wait for the price to come to you. Don't chase it. Yes, I just posted the link for you. If you just click that link, join the Telegram, and then inside the Telegram, you're going to have a bot, which is going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to join. Now, obviously, VIP is free to join. You just need a Vantage account. So for now, money was made. Everybody's happy. So I'll see you sometime next week. Like, I'm gonna announce it on Instagram whenever I stream, or I'm gonna post the links in Telegram. So don't worry. Like, I'll let you know ahead of time. Am I gonna take this trade after retracement? No, I already made enough. Don't have to force any more trades. But I'm just saying that if we get a retracement, this could be something you could be looking out for. But yeah, hope you guys made a lot of money, and I'll see you next time.